Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of Chainsaw Man, chapter 128. There's a title. Main dish. Yeah, I saw it. Anyway, so last chapter I didn't go over on the channel. I did not. Why? Because as a doctor and a student at heart, I have class, and sometimes my teachers demand me do homework. Then sometimes when school's ending, they give you this thing called finals, and then suddenly all that free time you used to have to do other important things, you no longer have. So that's what I've been doing. But more or less, what I understood from last chapter was Chainsaw Man comes to save Asa. Asa and Chainsaw Man have a bit of a conversation. He kind of gets her to be like, hey, stop being depressed. And they're hanging out in the middle of the air, and Asa's going up because he's depressed, and Chainsaw Man's going down because he's not depressed right now. And he's like, I'm still living for something. It's called sex. End of chapter. And I was like, Denji is the greatest main character of all time. And that's pretty much everything that happens in the last chapter, more or less. At least from my memory. Now I gotta hop into this chapter. So this chapter starts off with Asa immediately responding with what any normal, self-respecting person would say if in essence a national hero came up to them and was like, the reason why I live day by day is to fuck. And it's like, gross, creepy, let me go, I just want to die. I'd rather get eaten. We'll call it a day here. And then Denji does something a little bit surprising. Well, not totally surprising, but a little bit surprising, where he actually explains what he means. And he kind of breaks it down. He's like, oh, sex is beautiful. And, it's like closeness of people. And sex creates more people. We're here because of the act of sex, giving birth and all that stuff. Also, as a straight up hater, she has the audacity to say, well, the only reason people have sex is because it's the only thing, people are bored and that's all they can do. I think that's a little fraudulent. But yeah, she kind of got a point. I mean, yeah. And again, Denji's not the greatest with his words, so the way he's describing it kind of makes it sound hella creepy. But I can kind of get what he's getting at and the meaning behind what he's saying. He's not articulate, but he has the heart. But anyway, he's describing all these things. He's trying to talk her, trying to bring her onto his side, and she then says, "Hold on. What makes you think you're gonna get some coochie in your life?" He's like, well, I'm gonna get older and eventually I get a girlfriend. And he says, and she has basically she's like, you serious? It's like, you're never gonna get bitches. You got a chainsaw going through your head. Immediately he falls through the thing, and of course I think, well, they're both depressed, so he immediately just goes flying into the door, and it's just like, oh well, Asa, this was the worst time to decide that you were gonna shit on somebody, especially since he was trying to encourage you and you just shot on him. Damn. Anyway, so they go through the door and they appear on a plate, and Denji's still holding her. Asa seems to have passed out, maybe out of fear or so on, and he picks her up and then he begins to run. He sees the exit door and he's like, all right, let's get over there. And spiky worm pieces start attacking him. It goes whoosh, whoosh, and they stab through him and they start cutting him, and even one cut, and eventually his head's even cut off. But he grabs his own head after it's cut off, mind you, puts it back on his body and revs his own engine, and it keeps moving forward. It seems like basically whatever the creature is, it's not real. It's pretty much just trying to kill Denji in the effort to get Asa to eat. So when he just puts back on his head and keeps running, it pretty much just stops trying to attack him, it seems. And so he continues his trek. He gets closer to the door, and he's finally in front of it, and it opens before he even gets to touch it. Falling Devil, standing there, hot, proceeding, just like, hey, it's my main dish right there. I don't really need Chainsaw Man on my dish. You leave Asa, you got to leave. It's all fair and fair. Denji looks at Asa, looks back at the Falling Devil. Can I keep her lower half? He literally says her ass. Folly Devil, you're a pervert. And then bodied. Now, before we proceed, Denji, you can't be that down bad. You can't be that down bad. It's not okay. Now, he could be joking. But also, it would not be beyond Denji to basically say something truly heinous and it just be allowed. So I'm just going to say it now. Denji, you can't be that down bad. It's not okay to do that. Because it's just not good. It's just not good. There just is no way for that not to be bad. Anyway, he doesn't have to worry about this because a chainsaw user cuts through Falling Devil. Now, Falling Devil makes a point. It's like, it keeps on happening to me today. And that's a fact. The Falling Devil has terrible awareness. Maybe it's because her eyes are always closed. Because constantly, since her appearance, she has been getting randomly just absolutely washed. And then, of course, coming back and then bodying whoever attacked her. But pretty much just getting absolutely washed randomly by just random shit. But anyway, so this being comes in. They're basically like, the Falling Devil has no tolerance for diners who leave their food unfinished. The devils, they say they'll, but the devils desperately try to devour Asuma and Mitaka, lest they be killed by the Falling Devil. Please evade them until sunrise. Chainsaw Man. End of chapter. Now, what would just happen on there? Well, people have been talking about this guy called Fake Chainsaw Man, which basically earlier in part 2 there was a Chainsaw Man who appeared not to be Denji. And so people have been talking since then about like, oh, Fake Chainsaw Man is going to reappear. Who is Fake Chainsaw Man? Who could it be? Yada yada yada. I thought maybe I misunderstood because I didn't really understand where Fake Chainsaw Man came from. I think it came from Asa's original friend, the one who had the Justice Devil combination thing going on. I think the Chainsaw Man who killed them is Fake Chainsaw Man, and since then we've been trying to figure out who Fake Chainsaw Man is. So this is them making their official appearance. We know this for sure because one, just the way they talk to Denji, it's not like a copy of Denji, because Denji doesn't seem surprised, one, and the way the copy talks to him, well, the copy, quote unquote, talks to him, clearly signifies that this other being is separate from Denji. It's not like operating as like a version of him. And also it just looks different. Like, it seems his chainsaws are longer for sure. What exactly the person looks like, we don't know, because the Falling Devil's on top of their head, but it also seems like their saw is longer, the saw on their head. So all interesting stuff. But I suppose next chapter we will definitely get like, actually I was gonna say we're definitely gonna get to like see who it is. Actually probably won't, now I think about it. We might get a more clear idea of what their Chainsaw Man visual looks like, but I don't think we might not actually see who this is right away. I have heard some theories that it might be Yoshida or something, but we can't really be for sure anytime yet. But it's definitely very powerful to have like incapacitated the Falling Devil, period. But that's that. Beyond that, it seems like what's going to be going on here is that Denji is going to be running around with Asa. Potentially Asa's going to wake up and War Devil and Chainsaw Man are going to work together to survive what is probably going to be a horde of lots of relatively powerful devils basically coming after Asa to eat her, and also coming after Denji to like stop him from stopping them from eating her, in the effort to stop the Falling Devil from killing the other devils. And potentially we'll also have to fight the Falling Devil, but we'll see. And we also have the interaction between Asa and Denji in the very beginning / coming off last chapter, and I'll pretty much say Asa's a sellout. She kind of is a bad person because Denji was just trying to help her out, and she shot on him, and he still saved her, which I respect. Though he was going to take half her body to have sex with her corpse, which I still think should be wildly not okay. But it's Denji, so I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide this time, but next time, I don't know. We might have to have a discussion about this. All right. Outside of that, well, pretty good chapter. I enjoyed it. Very fun. Very nice. And yeah, can't wait for the next chapter. And that is all for this video. Thank you for watching. The doc is out. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and watch the videos on the right. Other than that, the doc is out. Bye.